So today I wanted to share some limiting beliefs when it comes to 3 in Love. 3 in Love is 3 women sharing one trustworthy and high value man. And I'm gonna share the 3 limiting beliefs that people have when it comes to 3 in Love and setting up that dream for oneself if you're not living that today. And most people aren't. So what are those 3 limiting beliefs? One is, in terms of thinking, it's wrong. It's morally wrong. I've heard that a couple of times that people believe that. And is it wrong to have 3 women who harmoniously share you and are happy, have joy, bliss, and happiness together? They live under the same roof and they enjoy having you as their man. Is it something wrong about that? No, not at all. Actually, the more people are happy in the world, the better this world is. Okay? And I thought that it was wrong at some point. And that was obviously when I just got married. And I knew in my brain I'd always wanted multiple women. Like, all men are wired that way. Guys that are more masculine are definitely wired that way. Guys that are more feminine are like, no, I just want one woman, okay? Femininity is monogamous and masculinity is polygamous by nature. And that's kind of how it is. So the more feminine a man is, the more he's going to be monogamous. And the more masculine he is, the more he's going to understand that his nature is actually to have multiple partners. Monogamy has literally created society as we know it today. Literally. And what kind of society is that? It's a society where people are sleeping around with each other without commitment. Now, some people might say that that's not a big deal. That's a big deal. The reason why it's a big deal is because women, in the long run, okay, maybe they have some fun for a while, but in the long run, it is very destructive for women to sleep around with people, okay, and not have the committed relationship of a family unit. Here's another one. A limiting belief that people have is that no women want to share a high value man. Oh, that is very mistaken. All women are actually wired for it. Like, women are literally wired to share. Sharing in and of itself is a feminine trait, okay? Masculine is quite selfish. So when you look at that, women by nature are wired to share a high value man. That's just one of the reasons why they're wired for that. And the reason why this is wrong, that no woman wants to share and that it's a limiting belief, is because female nature is math. So you got the aspect that they're all wired for it, and then the aspect that female nature is math, okay? Female nature is a male science, it's math. What do I mean by that? It basically means that you can figure it out. Okay, there's always a way for a woman to actually begin desiring 3 in Love if the man is high value enough. So if you understand that women all are wired for it, and that you also understand that female nature is math, which means that you just need to solve a few equations in her heart and in her brain to desire it with you, you can actually do that. Actually, any woman can have it with you. Okay, so it's a limiting belief to believe that no woman can have it when everyone's wired for it and it just requires some equations that need to be solved in order for you to get it. And then the third thing that I wanted to say was a limiting belief is that, can I do it? Okay, a lot of people have like, so it's morally okay. It's not a bad thing for society. It's not a bad thing for me, obviously. It's not a bad thing for women, especially. Actually, it's extremely good for women. And it's extremely good for kids to have extra mothers so that they don't have to go to school because they've got a burdened mother in monogamy. Okay, in 3 in Love, you can homeschool. The women are taking care of the home. They're taking care of the children. Everything's wonderful because they're unburdened because you're fulfilling your responsibilities as a man. The question is, do you believe that anything is possible? That you can achieve anything that you put your mind to? Because if you don't believe that, then of course you can't believe that you can have 3 women. If you have a low self-esteem and a low self-belief, you're not going to believe that you can even get 1 woman, okay? Like, there's tons of guys out there who's like, man, I'm struggling to get 1 girl, to get 3 would be absolutely impossible. No, it's just a matter of time and making a decision that I will become the man that deserves to have multiple women. You can become that man. And a caveat that I just want to mention here, because people who don't know me, they're just like, oh, he's this player and he's telling people to sleep around and stuff like that. Nothing can be farther from the truth. What I want is to establish families. What I want is for society to work. When people sleep around with partners that they're not committed to for life, they're literally destroying society. Okay? When you're committing before sexual activities and you're committing for life, now you're suddenly building society. Okay? Destruction, bad. Building, fantastic. Okay? Monogamy, bad. Why? Because it leads to cheating, it leads to non-attractiveness, it leads to player lifestyles, it leads to divorce very often. Could it happen in 3 in Love? Not if the man knows what he's doing. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys on this channel, is like, if you actually understand female nature, which is what we teach here, all this can be done, but it's a limiting belief only of yourself that's stopping you. It's morally okay. Okay? It's way better alternative than monogamy for everyone involved. Okay? As long as you're the good man, as long as you take care of responsibilities, as long as you do what you're supposed to do, awesome. It's good. Okay? And number 2, no woman wants it. Horrible limiting belief, because all women are wired for it. And then you're like, no, but there's tons of women that get angry if I mention it. Or there's women who get furious and they say, I would never do that, blah, blah, blah. Okay? There's tons of things that women do that they say they would never do. Have you noticed that? It's like they say something and then they do the opposite. They live this way. It's female nature of like saying something and doing something else. It's not their fault. They're wired that way in terms of being now creatures. Okay, so which means if they're a now creature, something happens to them. They're environmental creatures as well. So they're going to react a specific way according to what happened. But if something else happens and it's a different environment, they're now suddenly going to switch according to that environment that was created here. So which means that, what they say is completely irrelevant the vast majority of the time. And that's okay. Like, you just have to listen to them, understand them, and then see what they do, and then connect the dots of female nature. And the last one is, you can actually do this. It really only has to do with your own self-limiting beliefs of the fact that you don't believe you can achieve anything. And that just means that you're feminine. The more masculine you become, the more power you get, okay? The power equals the ability to do. So if you believe you have the ability to do, you have power, that means that I can do anything I want. Obviously, that is good for society and that's good for you and for everyone involved. But I can do it if I want to. The more masculine you become, the more you get that mindset. The more feminine you are, the more you're going to be like, I don't think I can achieve anything. I can barely get a job. That you just can't be that person. It's not good for you. It's not good for anyone.